Okay, now that we have our search field value stored on our state, let's actually use it to filter out the monsters where their names don't match the field. Now, how we'll do this is in the render. We don't want to actually modify our state's monster array because we want to keep the raw data in case somewhere in this component we need to use the base unmodified array. What we'll do instead is make a new array using the .filter method that we've learned. So what we'll do is we will actually first use a concept called destructuring. And what destructuring allows us to do is pull properties off of an object and set them to constants that we put inside of here. So the syntax is we say const and then we put our bracket notation. And here we'll use the actual object we want to destructure from. So the state object is what we want to pull the properties off of. And what we want to do is use the same property name that we want to set as the constant. So when we say monsters and search field like this, we'll be pulling off the search field value and the monsters value off of our state object and setting them to constants called monsters and search field. This is the equivalent of saying const monsters equals this dot state dot monsters and this, and const search field is equal to this dot state dot search field. It's just an easier way and a quicker way for us to write this out. And now that we have our monsters and search field, what we'll do is set a new const called filtered monsters that we will set as our monsters.filter, right? And we remember from our filter method, we get back a new array based off of the function that we pass into it, where we'll get the monster that it's currently iterating over. And what we want to do is take the name, call to lowercase on it, which is a method on all strings. And here we see converts all the alphabetic characters in a string to lowercase. And we want to do this because we don't want our search to be case sensitive. If we did, we would just not use the to lowercase. And then we'll call .includes. And what this includes method does is similar to our array method. It just checks whether or not the string value we pass inside of our includes is actually in the string that it's being called on. So here we'll use our search field. And we also want to lowercase it because, again, we want to make sure that if the user types in capitals, we don't want that to be case sensitive either. So includes, just like the array method includes, will return true or false based off of whether or not this string includes the string we're passing to it. And now, instead of passing in our state of monsters, we'll just pass in our new filtered monsters. And now we see that as we type, we're filtering out the monsters that don't have what we've typed in inside of their name. Now, we'll notice that our component is actually re-rendering every time. This is because whenever setState is called and the properties change, React re-renders our component. It recalls the render method, which means that our filtered monsters method here is actually getting called again. And this is great because what we've done is we've triggered this setState whenever they've typed something in, which in turn sets the state value of search field, which then in turn causes our component to re-render and recall the render method, which then refilters out the monsters by calling our monsters.filter again, setting a new array, which it'll then pass to our card list, which then re-renders card list. And this way, we're able to just dynamically live update our card list based on what we're typing in. And this is what's great about React, is that React is able to take control of what to render, what to re-render in its views, without us having to do all the extensive calls of showing elements and hiding elements. React is able to do so for us as long as we understand the rules. Now, we will definitely explore this in greater depth a little bit later, because right now we have to just expand upon some other concepts. But I promise you that we will take a deeper dive into how this works in just a little bit.